As we have discussed in the introductory class of this unit, that our search algorithms will be of two types, that is uninformed search strategies and informed search strategies. Okay, so today we are going to discuss uninformed search strategies, and we are going to discuss total 5 algorithms, and we have seen this 4 parameters based on which we are going to evaluate our algorithms. Okay, so let us revise these 4 parameters. First one is the completeness. So this will tell us whether our algorithm is guaranteed to find a solution when there is one. So if the solution is existing, whether our algorithm will find that solution or not. Okay, so if it's so, then we can say that our algorithm is complete. Then optimality. Okay, so as we know that in a search tree we can have multiple goal state. Okay, so out of those multiple goal state, one of the goal state will be the optimal one, right? So is our algorithm is giving us the guarantee that the solution provided by that is optimal or not. Okay, that is determined by this property optimality. Does the strategy find the optimal solution, the best solution? The third parameter is time complexity. How long does it take? Okay, so for that we are going to use order of big O notation. Okay, and space complexity. How much memory is needed to perform the search? And for time complexity and space complexity, we are going to use these 3 variables. That is the branching factor, means the highest number of successor any node can have, that is branching factor. Okay, so for this example the branching factor is 3. For this node the branching factor is 4, right? So 4 successor are there, right? Try to join within 2 minutes. Okay, so we are revising the terms. So first one is branching factor, done. Then second one is depth D, okay, denoted by D. It is the depth of the shallowest goals node. Okay, so consider if the Timur-Sora is our goal state, the D would be 1. Okay, root will have depth equals to 0. Okay, its successor will have depth equals to 1, and so on, right? So depth D is the depth of the shallowest goal node. Then maximum length of any path. Okay, so maximum action which is required to go from root node to the deepest node. Okay, so for this example the m value is 2. Okay, so time is often measured in terms of number of nodes generated during the search, and space in terms of maximum number of nodes stored in the memory. Okay, so and we are maintaining 2 data structure, that is frontier and explore set. So we are going to count the number of nodes in frontier and explore set in order to find the space complexity. Okay, so let us start with the uninformed search strategy. So there are 2 categories of search strategy, that is uninformed and informed. Uninformed and informed, right? So in uninformed we don't have any additional information. What we have, just the problem definition. Okay, just problem definition will be given, and additional there will be no information. So all we can do is just apply the all possible action on a given node, generate its successor, and apply the goal test. Okay, this all we can do. Okay, we don't have any guidance. Okay, to which branch to follow, that guidance is not provided. Okay, that's why this uninformed search strategy is also known as blind search. Okay, so now so we are going to discuss 5 algorithms in that. So how they are different? They are different based on only one point, how the frontier is implemented. Okay, so now we know that frontier is a collection of all the nodes which are ready for get expanded, right? So suppose A is expanded. Okay, now at this moment these 4 nodes are ready for getting expanded, right? So they will be in a frontier. Okay, let's call them B, C, D and E. Okay, now these 4 nodes are ready for getting expanded. So B, C, D and E will be there in a frontier. Okay, So now how this f is implemented, that is going to decide the algorithm. Okay, so consider this f is implemented in the form of a queue. Okay, that is first in first out, right? Queue follows first in first out. So next, so when we want to access the next child, b will be given, right? B will be written, right? So b is going to expand, and consider, so I will draw the tree here. So now b is getting expanded. Now its child will be enqueued in the queue, right? Okay, consider there are 4 child. Okay, they will be inserted in the queue, right? And they will be appended at the end of the queue, right? So now next node to be expanded is C, right? So how we are going? So we are going level by level. First we have expanded the root, then we are expanding its successor, and then their successor, and so on. So we are going level by level, right? Like this. Okay, so this is BFS strategy, right? Breadth first search. Now consider our frontier is implemented in the form of a stack. Okay, so now first E will be pushed, then D, then C, and then B. Okay, so now B is at the top of the stack. Now when we want to access the child, B will be popped, okay, and its child will be pushed, right? So in case of this strategy, when we have implemented frontier in the form of stack, first root node is expanded, then this node is expanded, then its child will be pushed, so the leftmost child will be expanded first. Okay, so we are going in the one level, okay, to the deepest, right? So this is DFS, right? Depth first search. Okay, so how you are implementing the frontier, that is going to decide your algorithm. Okay, so this is how these 5 algorithms are different. So we'll see one by one. So first one is breadth first search. So it expands the shallowest node first. Okay, so here the frontier will be maintained in the form of a FIFO queue. Okay, and here goal test is applied at the time of node generation. We know that there are two processes related to node, that is generation and expansion, right? So here the goal test is applied at the time of generation. So we'll see what is this. So take this example. So now A is our initial state, so it will be a root of our search tree. Now A is already generated, right? So we'll check whether A is goal test or not, goal state or not. Okay, so now it is not a goal. Consider our D is goal state. D is our goal state. Okay, so A is not a goal. Okay, so now we will expand it. Now its childs are generated B and C. Okay, now at the time of their generation only we will check whether they are goal state or not. Now both are not goal state, so we will proceed. Okay, so now B is ready for expansion. Now we will expand it. Now D and E are generated. Okay, now that at that moment only we will check whether it is goal state or not. So D is a goal state, so that's it, we will return a solution. Okay, so this will happen when we are applying a goal test at the time of generation. Now if we apply goal test at the time of expansion, then what will happen? Okay, now consider we are applying at the time of expansion. Okay, so A is getting expanded. Okay, then we will check, okay, so whether it is goal state or not. No, it is not goal state. Then A is expanded, B and C. Okay, now B is ready for expansion. Okay, now we will expand it. D and E are generated, so we will not return a solution. Now we go for the C. C is not a goal state. Okay, C is ready for expansion. C is not a goal state. Okay, now we will expand it. E and G are generated, sorry, F and G are generated. Now we will go to next one, that is D. Okay, it will be in a frontier D. Now D is ready for expansion. Now we will check whether it is a goal state or not. Okay, so now it is goal state and we will return the solution. Got the difference? Okay, so in expansion, when we check for the goal, during the expansion you have generated the next level nodes. Okay, that's why the complexity, the time complexity and the space complexity will increase. Okay, but sometimes we have to check the goal test at the time of expansion only. Though it will increase the time complexity and space complexity, we have to check for the goal at the time of expansion, and that will happen in case of our second algorithm, that is UCS, that we are going to see. Okay, did you get the difference? Okay, but in BFS we are going to apply the goal test at the time of node generation. Okay, that you remember. So this is the algorithm, BFS algorithm. So let us see this algorithm. So we are implemented in the form of function. Now it is a graph version of BFS. Okay, and we know that the difference between tree search and graph search, right? Do you remember that? In tree we don't maintain explore set. Okay, we maintain only frontier, and in graph based search we maintain the explore set, right? Why? Because we want to avoid these two problems, right? Loopy paths and redundant path, right? So that's why okay, so here in BFS we are using a graph version of that. Okay, so you can find the explore set and frontier. Okay, so we know that the first node will be our problem's initial state, right? Okay, so that will be our first node. Okay, path cost, initially the path cost will be 0. Okay, now we are checking whether the initial state is itself a goal. Okay, if it is so, return the solution. Okay, either we are returning a solution or a failure. Now frontier is implemented in the form of FIFO queue, right? We have discussed this. Okay, if it is in a FIFO okay manner, then we are getting a BFS algorithm with a node as the only element. Okay, so we have our initial state in the frontier. Explore set will be empty because we have not visited any node. Loop do, you perform this repeatedly. If frontier becomes empty, then return failure. So this we know. Then we are popping the frontier, so that means the first element in the queue will be written. Okay, now we are adding that node in the explore set because we have visited that, so it is inserted in the explore set. Now we are going to apply the all possible actions one by one and generating the child node. Okay, so for that particular state, whatever are the actions possible, we are applying for each action in the actions. Okay, you apply that action on a node and generate the child node. We have seen this function in the previous class. Now child is generated. Now we will check. We are applying the goal test at the time of child generation, right? So we will apply the goal test on that. Okay, if the child state is not in the explored and frontier, okay, whether we are checking whether it is already explored or not, then first you apply for the goal test. Okay, so goal test is applied at the time of generation. If it is a goal state, you return the solution, otherwise you insert that in the frontier. Okay, very simple algorithm. Okay, it is actually a modified version of this graph algorithm. Okay, it is written in the English statements, like in English statement. Here we have used couple of functions, right? Okay, so this is regarding BFS algorithm. Is it clear to you? Shall I repeat? Okay, so now we will evaluate our BFS algorithm, whether it is complete, optimal, time complexity. We will find the time complexity and space complexity. Okay, so whether it is complete, it is yes, it is complete, but if B is finite. Okay, so complete means what? If the solution is there, whether our algorithm will able to find that solution or not, right? So our BFS algorithm, recall its process. It is going level by level, right? First level, second level, third level, like this, right? So ultimately, okay, so if the solution is there, ultimately our algorithm will reach to that level, right? So it is going to be complete because we have used the graph version and we are not going to fall in a loop, right? So definitely it will be yes. But if B is finite, okay, consider consider any complex agent where he has number of actions, okay, and if the branching factor is infinite, okay, so now if the goal state is here and the branching factor is infinite, so he cannot go to the next level, right? He will be visiting all the nodes in the first level only, right? Okay, that's why if the B is finite, the branching factor is finite, then it is yes. So that is the condition. What about optimal? Yes, if all step costs are equal. Step cost means what? The cost incurred to go from one state to another, okay, from this node to this node, that is the step cost. If it is all equal, then yes, otherwise no. So I will give you one example. So consider very simple example. So consider this is our goal node and this is also goal node, and consider the path cost of this is 2 and 3 and the path cost of this is 10, and our BFS will go level by level, and he has found the goal state and he will return that solution with the path cost of 10. But the optimal solution is 2 plus 3, that is 5, right? So now the problem is that the step cost here are not identical, they are different, right? So if the step cost are equal, then definitely we will get the optimal solution, right? So optimal if step cost are equal. Equal means what? All will have 2, 2, 2. Now the step cost of this solution is 4, the step cost of this is 2, right? Getting my point? Okay, so 2 points are clear. Then time complexity. So let me erase. Now we will calculate the time complexity. Okay, so time complexity is measured in terms of number of nodes generated. Okay, so how many nodes are generated, and we are going to use this 3 variables B, D and M. Okay, so consider okay, so now consider our tree is having branching factor B. Okay, so now we want to calculate how many nodes are generated. Okay, so at D equals to 0, depth equals to 0, number of node generated is 1. At D equals to 1, number of node generated is B. At D equals to 2, B node will generate B, right? So B square. Getting the formula? Okay, so 0, so it is B raised to power 0. D equals to 1, so it is B. Okay, so if I go to D equals to depth equals to D, D is the depth of shallowest node, so it will be B raised to power D. Okay, so in order to get to the shallowest goal node, I require 1 plus, okay, I have to visit this many nodes, okay, 1, so up to B raised to power D. Okay, this many nodes are generated. Okay, at this level the shallowest goal node is there, right? So that's why the time complexity is order of B raised to power D, right? We take the highest term, right? So this is B raised to power D. Now space complexity is also again order of B raised to power D. Why? Because we are maintaining frontier and explore set. So the leaf node will be there in a frontier and rest will be there in explore, because we have visited all these nodes. Okay, so that's why it will be again the combination of this summation, and it is going to be order of B raised to power D. Got this point? Okay, and because the space complexity is exponential for BFS, and that is the problem for BFS. Okay, so this will be clear through this example. So see here, what we are assuming that our B branching factor is 10. Okay, so this space complexity is the biggest problem of BFS. So see, branching factor is 10. This is our processing power. Okay, our CPU can process 1 million nodes per second. Okay, and for each node we required 1000 bytes. Okay, And if you do the maths, if our depth level is 10, okay, consider this node generated, it will be b raised to power d, right? 10 raised to power 10, okay, branching factor is 10, depth level is 10, it will be 10 raised to power 10. The time taken will be 3 hours, and the memory requirement is 10 terabyte, and they will be in a main memory, right? So you require RAM of this 10 TB, and if the level depth level increases to 16, it will take around 350 years to produce a new action, and it will take a 10 hexabyte of memory, which is impossible actually. For this we can wait for 3 hours, but how can we get a RAM of 10 terabyte? That is the biggest problem. Getting my point? So we don't want such exponential space complexity. Okay, and this depth is actually possible. Consider a case of chess. Okay, so one player have 16 pieces, right? For 16 pieces, consider a bishop. Okay, now bishop can move diagonally, right? So that bishop can move in this direction by 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? Here also he can move, here also he can move, right? So he has number of actions possible, right? And that is for one piece, right? So the number of actions, so we are considering b equals to 10, but in case of a chess, that b can be huge, right? Okay, so this is very practical example and shows the limitation of our BFS algorithm. Next one is UCS algorithm. Now here we are going to expand the node with the lowest path cost, and we are going to store the path cost in this function, that is g of n. N is our node. Now consider the example of TSP problem. Okay, so here we have some information available. So for example, from going from A to B, this many kilometers are required, right? This information is known as path cost, and we are going to expand that node with the lowest path cost. Okay, so here our frontier will be implemented in the form of a priority queue ordered by g function. Okay, so here our frontier is using priority queue data structure. Here we have to apply the goal test at the time of expansion. Okay, why it is required, I will explain through example. So let us see the algorithm first. So here we are applying a goal test at the time of expansion. So our algorithm is UCS, uniform cost search. It will either return a solution or failure. Path cost is initially 0. Our initial node will be our initial state. Frontier is maintained in the form of priority queue. Explore state, again this is a graph version, so it is going to use explore state. Now initially, if the frontier is empty, return failure. Okay, otherwise you pop the top element. Okay, so we'll choose the lowest cost node in the frontier, right? So now this node is ready for getting expanded, so that's why we are applying a goal test here. Okay, so we are not going to apply the goal test when childs are generated. Okay, so now this goal is ready for expansion, so I am applying a goal test. If it is goal state, I am returning a solution. Now if it is not, then add that node to explore state. Now I am applying all the possible action one by one and generating a child. Now if the child is not in the explore state, it is inserted in the frontier, and this test, the last test, is additional. This is required. Why? That will be clear through one example. Okay, so first we will see the example. So now our agent is going from, this is again a traveling salesman problem. So our agent is going from city Sibiu to Bucharest. Okay, and we are applying a UCS algorithm now. Okay, so we have a frontier, and I will maintain explore set here. Initially explore set will be empty, frontier will have Sibiu city. Only one element is there, the path cost of Sibiu is 0. okay, because you are already there. Now S is selected for the expansion. It will be checked against the goal state. Here our goal state is Bucharest. CBU is not a goal state, okay, so we'll expand it. Its childs are generated, that is this RV city and Fagares. So I will be adding that RV and Fagares city. This RV city, the path cost is 80, Fagares is 99. Sorry, okay, consider this is frontier. Okay, explore set. Now CBU is explored. Okay, so Fagares city, the path cost is 99. Okay, so our queue will be like this. Okay, it is a priority queue. Now R will be selected for the expansion. It will be checked against the goal. Okay, it is not, then it is expanded. Its childs are generated. The childs are p-test T and CBU. CBU is in all explore set, so only p-test T will be added, but the cost of p-test T is 80 plus 97, right? 80 plus 97, it is 177. It will be added, so our frontier will become, RV is gone, so p-test T is added and its cost is 177. Now F is checked against the goal state, it is not, then Bucharest, its child is added. Okay, CBU is also a child, but it is already in explore set. Okay, RV is inserted in explore set. Okay, so now Bucharest is added, F is gone, F is added to explore set. Bucharest is added, its cost is 99 plus 211, that is 310. Okay, our goal is added. Okay, it is generated. Okay, but we are applying the test at the time of expansion. Okay, so now our algorithm is not over. So now P is selected and it is ready for expansion. Now P is a goal state, no, so it is removed, added to the explore set. Its childs are RV and Bucharest. Bucharest will be added. The cost of this Bucharest is 177 plus 101, so that will be 278. Okay, so now in a priority queue we have two goal state. Okay, this state will be removed. Why? Because of this last condition. If child state is in frontier with higher path cost, you replace that frontier with the current child. Okay, so that is removed. Okay, now this Bucharest is ready for expansion. It is goal state and the solution is written. Okay, and if we apply a BFS here, we would have got this path. Okay, that shows the limitation of BFS. Now here the path costs are not identical, right? We are going level by level, right? So first these two nodes are explored, right? This is at the second level, right, for this child, and this is at second level for this child, right? So in BFS we would have got this solution. Okay, but the optimal solution is this one, right, with the cost of 278. Did you get this example? Okay, so that is about UCS. So now we will evaluate this UCS algorithm. Okay, complete. It is yes, it is complete. Okay, if the B is finite. Okay, complete means what? Whether it is giving guarantee to find a solution if it exists, right? So yes, it is somewhat like a BFS only, going level by level, but considering the path cost. Okay, so ultimately it will reach to that, but step cost should be positive. If it is negative, then okay, it may go in wrong direction, right? So that is about completeness. Optimal, yes, it is optimal because it has overcome the problem of that BFS, right? So now any path costs are possible. Now time complexity. Now here we cannot consider B and D. Okay, because we are not exploring, we are not going level by level. Okay, so what we have to consider here, C star, that is cost of optimal solution. Okay, and every action cost at least epsilon. Okay, for example, consider the solution. The optimal solution is 400. How to explain this? Okay. Okay, try to remember the time complexity and space complexity. I will later explain means how we have arrived at this complexity through one example. So for time being, remember this. Okay. Okay, one thing I can tell here is, if all step cost are equal, consider, so cost, the C star will be what? So consider all steps are identical. Okay, consider 10 10 like this, and this is our goal state. Okay, so now the optimal C star will be what? 10 plus 10, that is 20, and every action cost at least epsilon. So here in this example it is 10. Okay, so this is 2. Okay, so it has become B equals to 1 plus 2, and basically this 2 is the depth, D equals to 2, right? So if you replace this by D, and what we have got, it is actually our BFS only, right? Here we are applying the goal test at the time of expansion, right? That's why this plus is coming. Okay, because you have considered the next level nodes, right? Okay, so when the path costs are identical, UCS becomes BFS. Okay. Okay, we will talk about this later on also. Okay, so just remind me, at the end of this unit we'll revisit UCS algorithm. Okay, next third algorithm is DFS. Okay, so here like we discussed, it expands the deepest unexpanded node. Okay, so just the algorithm is not given in the book. Okay, so here we have to use the graph search algorithm. Just we have to implement the frontier in the form of a stack. Okay, in the textbook it is mentioned that you have to maintain in the form of a LIFO queue. Okay, LIFO queue means what? A stack only, right? Okay, so we have to implement frontier in the form of a stack. So see the working through example. So A will be there. Okay, now A is ready for expansion. Okay, so now B and C are generated. Okay, I will maintain a stack. Okay, A is there, A is expanded, removed from the stack. Okay, B and C are pushed. Okay, now B is popped. Okay, now its childs are pushed. Okay, so its childs are D and E. Okay, now D is at the top, it is removed, and its childs are pushed, that is H and E, H and I. Okay, see, because of this implementation we are going in one branch to the deepest level, right? So this is how the depth first search works. Okay, so once we reach to the deepest level, we will backtrack and go to the other branch. Okay, because I is there, right? So we'll go in that branch, right? Okay, so this is how DFS algorithm works. Now we'll talk about its parameters. Okay, so now we know that every algorithm can be implemented in the form of a tree or a graph. Okay, in tree we will not keep explore state, right? Okay, so we'll compare. What about completeness? Okay, so tree version of DFS is not complete and graph version is complete. Why? Because in tree there will be no explore set. Okay, consider our traveling salesman problem. So we have Arad and Sibiu, and to the Arad there are other neighboring cities, and to the Sibiu also there are neighboring cities. So A is our root node, so Sibiu is there. Okay, now to the Sibiu, A is also a neighboring country, and we have not maintained explore set, so A is again visited. To A, S is there, and then A, so we are going in a loop. Okay, and we will go to the deepest level of that, and that is infinite, right? Okay, that's why So consider our goal is here only, okay, but we cannot backtrack from this branch, so that's why it is complete, it is not complete, okay. And if in graph version, if we maintain an explore set, it will become a complete, right? So this is regarding completeness. Then optimal, it can be explained through one simple example, okay, whether it is optimal or not. Consider this is our goal and this is also goal, right? Now DFS will return me this solution, right? So it is going to will go in a deep, right, in this branch, right? It is going to return this solution, but the path, the cost of this node, this solution is less, right? So 10 10, okay, so it is not optimal. Then regarding time complexity, okay, so m, so consider m is what, the length of the maximum depth of any node, right? So our DFS will go in the maximum deep, maximum depth, right? So that's why we have to consider m here, okay. So now this graph version, okay, so explore set will be there, right? So all the nodes will be considered, right? So that's why it is b raised to power m, b raised to power m. But see here, the difference is here. Now space complexity is not exponential. So this is the biggest advantage of DFS. Okay, so let me show you how it came. B raised to power m. So in tree we are going to maintain only the frontier, right? So A will be there, its childs are generated, okay, consider this is B, its childs are generated, we are going in the deep level of this leftmost branch, right? Now consider this is what, this is our branching factor, okay, and we are going in the depth denoted by m, right, maximum m, right? Now how many nodes will be there in a frontier? This B, 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 and it will be times m, right? Only these nodes are there in a main memory. We are not maintaining explore set, right? That's why the space complexity is linear here actually, not exponential, okay. So this is the biggest advantage and that we want to utilize, but these are the drawbacks of this version, okay. So if you are going to use DFS, use the tree version of that, otherwise it is not that much sufficient, okay. These are very poor scores, right? Exponential time complexity, exponential space complexity, only we have completeness here, right? Okay, now DLS algorithm, that is depth limited search, okay. So this is variant of DFS, okay, and here also this is a tree version of DFS, but here will determine, will set the limit to the depth, okay, in the form of a L, okay. So we'll go to that depth only, okay. So we'll set a cutoff, okay, and we will not proceed beyond that, okay. So this is how we are going to avoid the loops, okay. So now the main problem is how to decide the value of L, that is the biggest problem. So if we set D less than D, what is D? It is a depth of shallowest node, right? Depth of shallowest node, consider, okay, this is our shallowest goal, so D would be 2, right? D equals to 0, 1, 2, right? So now if we set D equals to 1, okay, so cutoff is set here only, will not reach to that goal state, right? So if L is set less than D, then DLS is incomplete. Now if L is greater than D, it will become non-optimal. Why? Because consider D is set to 10, okay, and this is our shallowest node, okay, and consider we have a node here also, and that is our goal, okay. DFS is going to return that solution, okay. So which is not optimal, right? Optimal solution lies here, right? So if L is greater than D, DLS is not optimal. If L is infinite, DLS will become DFS, right? Obviously, right? So see the algorithm of DLS. So we have written a recursive function for DLS. So along with the solution and failure, it is going to return cutoff also, Okay, so I will explain when cutoff is written. So consider, okay, this is our search tree and this is our goal, but the cutoff is set to L is equals to 2. This is my cutoff. Okay, so now consider this example. So we have A, B, C, D. D is our goal state, E, F and G. Okay, so we'll see the working of this algorithm through this example. So our main function will call this depth limited search problem and limit. Limit is set to 2. Returns either a solution, failure or a cutoff. It is making a call to the recursive DLS. Same node is same parameters are passed. Okay, limit is equals to 2. So at this node L is actually 2. Okay, L is 2. So we have reached to this call. Okay, this function. Okay, so now if my goal current state is my solution, goal, then I will return a solution. Okay, otherwise I will expand it. Okay, so this is goal applying goal test at the time of expansion. If limit becomes 0, then return cutoff. Otherwise, so L is 2, so we'll go forward. Cutoff occurred is set to false. Okay, cutoff occurred, so that is set to F. So that is F now. Okay, currently it is F. Okay, now for each action in problem dot actions, do this. Okay, so 2 actions are possible. First child is generated, that is B. Okay, child node. Now again we are making a recursive call. We are passing a child problem and limit -1. Okay, so at this moment L will become 1. Okay, L is 1 now and it is a recursive call, so we'll jump here. Now we are checking whether this current node, that is B, is goal or not. Okay, now no, it is not a goal state. Okay, L equals to 1, no, it is 1. Cutoff occurred is set to F. Okay, cutoff occurred is set to F. So F, and then for each action, so here only one action is possible, one child is generated, that is C. Okay, and again we are making a recursive call. So again from here recursive call is made and we are passing limit -1, that is 1 minus 1, that is 0. Okay, so limit is set to 0 now. Okay, so here L equals to 0. Okay, this is a recursive call, so we will jump here. Okay, we are checking whether this is a goal state or not. No, it is not a goal state. Whether we have reached to the limit, L equals to 0, yes. Return cutoff, so cutoff is written, so we will return a cutoff here. C is written. Okay, so we'll come back. Okay, so now we'll come back and we'll come here, right? If result equals to cutoff, for this node the result was cutoff, then cutoff occurred equals to true. Now initially it was false, now it is changed to true. Cutoff occurred true, so it is changed to true. Okay, then else if. Okay, so if was true, so we will not go in else if. That's it for each action. So now second action is applied. First action was over, second action is applied. This child is generated. Then result. Okay, again recursive call is made for this node. Okay, it is L minus 1, so it will be L minus 1 means 2 minus 1, that is 1. Okay, again we are making a recursive call. We'll jump here, we'll check whether E is a goal state or not. L limit equals to 0, no. Cutoff occurred equals to false, so cutoff occurred equals to false. Okay, set to false for each action. So here one action is possible, this child is generated, and again we are making a recursive call for this child and passing limit -1. So here the limit was 1, so it will become 0, and we'll jump here, we'll check whether F is goal state. No, limit is 0, so it will return cutoff. Okay, so cutoff is written here. Okay, so this will update it to true. Okay, and finally it will return a cutoff this will become true, and finally cutoff occurred. So finally for the root node, cutoff occurred, 1 minute, cutoff occurred will become true. So that's why our main algorithm will return cutoff. Okay, so this is how, if you set L less than D, here the D was 3 and you set D was 3 and you set L equals to 2, right? So if L less than D, our algorithm becomes incomplete. That was our observation, right? So in that case the cutoff is written. So this is how DLS works. So completeness, no, because that depends on the value of L, right? Optimal, no, we have seen through previous example only. Time complexity, it is DFS only, but our M will be replaced by L. Okay, we are going to L level only, right? Not the M. Okay, that's why L. And space complexity, we are using the graph tree version of the DFS. That's why it will be a linear and it will be B into L. Okay, and the last algorithm is iterative deepening search. It is 12:20 now. Okay, so we'll see this algorithm briefly, and in next class also we'll revise this algorithm. Okay, so now we want to capitalize on the advantage of BFS and DFS. Now what are the advantage of BFS? BFS is complete because we go by level, so and it gives optimal solution, right, when the path costs are identical. And DFS, in the tree version of DFS, we have got the best space complexity, right? So here in iterative deepening search, we try to derive the advantage of BFS and DFS. So for that, what we do, we use DLS algorithm, and iteratively or gradually we increase the depth level. Okay, so for that, see the algorithm. So here this is our iterative deepening search. What we are doing here, iteratively we are increasing the depth. We are starting with D equals to 0, going till infinity, and we are calling a DLS algorithm and passing the depth. Okay, simply, right? So here calls depth first search with increasing depth limit until the goal is found. Okay, so what is happening here, see this example, our when limit equals to 0, so this is our iterations, iteration number 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So limit equals to 0, so this is checked against the goal. Okay, it is not. Okay, we'll increase the limit. Now limit is 1. Okay, so we'll check this node and this node. Okay, if it is not, then we will increase the limit. Okay, and so on. So what is happening here, so now these two drawbacks of the DLS are overcome, right? So now we need not to decide the value of L. Okay, so we can guarantee the completeness. Okay, and we are going to find the optimal solution, because in the previous example, as I told you, so if this is our tree, what was the drawback of DFS? Consider this is our goal state and this is our goal state. Okay, so our DFS was giving me this solution, right? But here what is going to happen, initially the L will be 0. Okay, so I am going to check this one. Next L equals to 1, so definitely I will get this solution, right? So this is how we are getting the optimal solution, right? So this is actually, in one iteration we are actually doing a BFS only. Okay, so this is how we are getting a completeness, optimality. Time complexity would be B raised power D. Okay, why? Because we are going to that level only, right? D is what? The depth of the shallowest node. We are going till that level only, and then we are returning a solution, right? And space complexity, we are not maintaining an explore set, right? So it is B into D only, right? So this is the final comparison. So we have seen BFS, UCS, depth first search, depth limited, and iterative deepening, and we have not seen this bidirectional. You take this algorithm as self study. So completeness, so we know that BFS is yes complete and optimal, but the problem is its exponential time complexity and space complexity. UCS is also complete and optimal, but again we have exponential time and space complexity. DFS, it is, this is a tree version actually. It is not complete because we may fall in an infinite loop, and it is not optimal. We have seen that. Then def limited, okay, so here M is replaced by L. Okay, it is DFS only, that's why it is no. Okay, iterative deepening, okay, it is yes. Okay, and so here final remark is that, where I have mentioned here I have mentioned, in general iterative deepening is the preferred uninformed search method when the search space is large and depth of the solution is not known. Okay, so our choice is iterative deepening search when we don't know the depth of the solution. Okay, so out of these 5, the iterative deepening search is the best one.